Okay, take three. I cleaned my lens. Um, but here we are at the studio with Lithic Literature, and we're working with a design that I've picked up in stones and facades around here in the state of Maine, and I have found that it is found all over the world. Anyway, this is the stone that I'm working from. I am orienting it. Where's our beauty here? There's some of it going on here. You know, the arms, the headdress. If you look at the light blue area, this is, you can start seeing here. So I'm glad we're there. There are some tricks here that are found and repeated, actions. We all can agree that we can see, a torso of a lady here. And you can decide which path you want to follow right about here. And one of them is where she has the thighs open, like a butterfly. And the other one is she can have her thigh crossed over where the legs crossed. She can also be kneeling down forward in the right way to distribute her weight over the drill while she works. Sometimes you have to put your body weight over what you're working in order to best use your body weight. So, you can see she's a busy lady here. But then all of a sudden you see, that these legs are attached and there's a horse and she's riding it backwards while she shoots arrows. That's my girl. Look out. I think that's pretty cool. There are, so many things to look at here, but I want to now shift a little bit to the one from Europe that also has modern material. Someday I'll have to do more additional, better. I am trying, believe me, I'm trying to set up for some better choreo, making better movies. I think I can do it. I really do. I just need a little patience with myself because I always want to publish before I gather all my parts and pieces and then be able to put them together. Well, anyway, this is the European piece. And, it's not something I was really excited about when I first finally figured out what the hoax in that painted pebble. It's just not what they say it is. But we'll let them run with it. Let them dig a hole. Okay, what I'm excited about here is this. I was almost done, literally. I thought, but there was something here in this area that had me pixelated. There was a pattern here I had to follow exactly. It just like, let's get this right. That can be, the back of a tiger, all these many things. But the part that I started picking up was there is a quality where just like, when you see a picture of something, it can stimulate the senses, just like it's, you see bread and, you can almost smell it, that painting so good. I think there's also the ability to color your own black and white paintings to the point where, if you see something or even just a black and white sketch or, the artist can paint the color, not paint the color. A good draftsperson understanding how the brain works can present to you a black and white where you see the color. That makes sense. But in any case, I was really caught up with the undulating colors here, where it drifts from, the dark blue, black blue, beautiful, to other tones, to a nice yellow, to the reds, all these. And then, and it's more so at nighttime, because I did use metallics in these paintings. So lighting really can play here. But I was started picking up in this was almost like a iridescent motion, like changing before your eyes from one color to the next. And then, oh my goodness gracious, then all the tentacles started popping out. And all of a sudden, I totally get it. The little octopus, freaking out in your hand as, you're thinking lunch. He's turning every color, squirting ink. I mean, you're got that little bugger. Could be yummy. I hate to say it, but I have eaten baby octopus. And I knew I was eating them. And I know octopus are important. And I apologize for have eaten them. Do I regret it? It was so yummy. I was New York City in the most fantastic Japanese restaurant, and I was just they were so good. They were so good, and I'm sorry. They were yummy. But in any case, I'm sorry. I'm drifting back, and I guess I haven't been out to a nice restaurant in a long time, so maybe it's time. But I probably won't. Times are hard for everyone. But in any case, I think you can really enjoy the octopus here and looking at, and then like other stories, that octopus will go and move around as it moves around doing its little octopus things. Vary in color, textures. Oh, and another thing I wanted to point out. Now, I believe there was some heavy felting being done in Europe. Some really heavy felting, creating, I don't know if you've ever been under the covers on a cold night. It doesn't take long for you to heat up your own little pocket of air. Felting, you can get it very, very thin, to the point where you can see through it. You can make a veil of felt, and you can thicken it up in areas you want it to fit well or be thicker. But if you were combating this hyper cold times, to have a veil made of felt would have been very helpful. So I also think that this gentleman here is also putting on a sweater, and if you want to really have fun, the Sneed, wasn't it? Dr. Seuss, everybody had to have one. I mean, that's, I think that's what's happening here. I think they were felting everything, woolly mammoth felt. But then there was a sad thing. You always want to point out, felting, you only use a fur, but I know nobody wants to hear about our past sins, but just as all the beauty of the sports and the dance and the instruments and the music, we have our times when we would have sinned. I think it is. I was brought up Catholic. I'm sorry. Oh, see, there I go again. But this idea that they were taking the trunk off elephants to use them as heavy-duty gloves for probably the icest, coldest time of the Ice Age. And you can just see the elephant here, the elephant with the ear, and then the face, and then all of a sudden it becomes part of this lady's coat, and you can just see her fitting her hand right in there, and she's got it. But not good for the elephant. Another thing I find time and time again is the mermaid tail was also part of an animal or a fish, whatever animal that you happen to see fit to put your feet into the making a monofin for yourself is something that I do. I mean, I was a young competitive swimmer. I used the monofin to do some pretty wild swimming among the islands, always stopping to get warm on a hot rock. The ocean's cold here. It's warm in the winter and cold in the summer. It does get warm enough. But, I use the monofin. I swim so fast. You don't have to work too hard once you get in the groove. But in any case, and dolphins seemed to pop up and say, hey, anybody seen my tail around here? And, here we are holding that tail up, and we're going to put it on and swim off. So, you see a mermaid, and you think they're fancy. They are. Now mine is made out of hard plastic. I'll have to bring it out sometime. But, the whole monofin is something else that was played here. So many stories, right? I don't know how many times more I will be doing this, because pretty soon, once I get caught up in my next image and how I'm going to work it, I am kind of not antisocial, but I pretty much disappear. So people probably tired of hearing from me here and politically. So I might disappear into the studio and push paint. So thank you for listening. Bye.